Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this masterclass. And this is the first time I have my partner in crime, Ufuk, with me today. And today we hope to be like very simple guests. Like we decided the format should be easy, no slides, nothing. It's just a casual chat between Ufuk and myself. Ufuk, how are you?
Hello, thank you, Mehmet. Everything's okay. Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to join your show.
Thank you, Ufuk. So, guys, what we're gonna tell you today is actually something, I decided to get Ufuk with me today to show you because there are some myths outside about doing business and how it should be done, and because Ufuk and myself we've been doing this for quite some times now, so we decided, okay, like we faced some difficulties, we faced some challenges, and we learned a lot down the road. So why we don't try to help also people who are interested to know how we succeed to do it. And this is why the first question I want to ask Ufuk today: why is now considered the ideal time to invest in Dubai, and how is the business landscape?
First of all, yes, Dubai is very competitive area, right? There are business booming in every sector, and there's a clear growth in the population, and business is becoming easier and easier for foreigners, for locals, for residents. So and plus, Dubai is always been a city where technology comes first, right? So there are many government organizations trying to make expats' life easier as much as possible. So that's why, from this point of view, I would say Dubai is a good place to start with because of all this dynamic space, all the technology and adoption, technology adoption is really good when it comes to Dubai.
Yeah, that's great. By the way, guys, I forget to tell you this. If you are watching us on LinkedIn, you can put your comments if you want to ask us anything that comes to your mind. We're supposed not to take too much from your time, like around 40-45 minutes. But if you have some questions, of course, we'll be happy to answer you down the road. So, Ufuk, that was like really good answer, I would say. Now, what factors have led to this being a favorite time for setting up a business? Like, how did you decide? Okay, we know that now it's the ideal time to invest, but not why now? Like, why you decided to do it now?
First of all, because of having a technical background. So you and me, we both have technical backgrounds. We're coming from data protection and the cybersecurity industry. And for me personally, one of the reasons was uh, that I saw growth when it comes to cybersecurity and the importance of data, right? So that's why for me it was one of the first reasons. And of course, in the end, it's something that I wanted to grasp, just learn in the hard way, by reading, books or studying courses. Well, of course, it's also helping, but doing and trying to develop a business, it's totally a different university. And for me, it was another reason to start with.
Yeah, that's great. I can't agree more, I would say. And this is exactly, the same reason. Now, how also the current economic climate impact business opportunities for both of us in Dubai here?
First of all, there are many people coming in Dubai, right? Especially in last 1.5, 2 years. So rental prices increased, and so simply life became a bit expensive, more expensive. Uh, but in the end, so there is a also an opportunity. So that's why. Uh, and plus, in recent months, when we had these corporate tax updates just recently, and also previously about tax, VAT registration. So these are just another indicator. Both of them, there's different indicators to pay more attention in the business landscape in Dubai.
Yeah, I want to add something to what Ufuk just mentioned. So, of course, there are some times in history where you start to see a trend. So, from my personal perspective, I have missed the train couple of times, and this time I saw the trend that Ufuk was mentioning, and one of them is like we started to see Dubai and the Middle East in general attracting talents, attracting more startups to start. And the opportunity I saw is like these young people, these new startups, of course they're gonna come here and try to add to the economy, and they want to do something and make to buy kind of a Silicon Valley. So, and I saw the opportunity where I didn't see much people helping the ecosystem from different aspects, whether it's like technology selection, like from business strategy perspective. And I would say same what Ufuk mentioned. And by the way, all the things that Ufuk mentioned is a clear proof that now it's the right time, it is the right place as well, because we are at the end of June, and you go to the city, to downtown, or you go to any other place, and you see the city, like it's very crowded with people coming from all over the world, and they are not just tourists, by the way, guys. Like we are seeing Ufuk and myself, and we'll talk about it like later. We are seeing really smart guys who are coming here. They have brilliant ideas, and they want to start their own businesses. They want to start their, they have new ideas from tech perspective, merging different things together. And yeah, there's no better time, I would say, to be here in this city, in this area of the world, and start your business. And of course, you will have the support that Ufuk mentioned. Now, Ufuk, like one of the myths, I would say, like people say, hey, like, yeah, I have an idea. I want to start the business, but like there are a lot of things. I need office space. I don't know what. Now, can you share the experience about the advantages of office spaces, co-working environments here in Dubai?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was also a question mark. So I was just thinking, well, it's very nice to have a nice office, right, in one of these lovely business centers uh, on 25th floor. I don't know. So yes, yeah, it sounds good, right? But when you're starting a company, and if you have limited budget, it's wiser to be cost effective when it comes to choosing the workspace, company registration, on which legal authority, and what type of company. So these are all were decision makers for me. So yes, there are many options when it comes to choosing a company location. Uh, but for my company, DataFabrika, I didn't need a physical office in the beginning, and because even before COVID times, I used to work remotely in my previous job. So that's why I got used to work from home remotely. And right now, wherever I go, I'm able to conduct my business, take care with my business, and join my meetings, do my work. So that's why in Dubai, yes, you might see there are some company like business setup advisors. Yes, this is their business. This is a sector in Dubai, and in the end, they are also providing a value in return, of course. Uh, but I didn't work with any of business setup advisor. I did my own research, and based on the research, I just took action. So that's why if you see something's expensive, I recommend to take another look, because probably there is a cost-effective option.
Yeah. So that's very important, Ufuk, because when you are a startup, and we are talking here, the our event title is bootstrapping, and
Yeah,
bootstrapping means
that's
you
right.
have to be on budget. So what other strategies, cost-effective strategies, can we give as examples, right? When you start in Dubai. So you mentioned the office space. So what other, examples we can give?
Well, I can say, using maybe uh, outsourcing, maybe managed services, right? I mean, you don't need to hire a full-time accountant maybe from the beginning, right? And there are companies, there are individuals providing a great service with a very cost-effective way. And so it might be another recommendation to you to take a look at these managed services, even for business related topics and as well as technical domains. For example, still whatever is your business, what type of business, still you need information security, right? This is our expertise. This is what we are doing. And I see, during our meeting with other business owners, I see too many business owners, they have no idea about where their website is hosted, or what kind of email system they are using, or what kind of information security in place. They simply have no idea. And I would say, from this point of view, to work with the managed security services provider, it's another cost effective option.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, it's a trend that's happening globally. And like I have the podcast, and recently what I discovered that, like as Ufuk mentioned, so there's something called the naming convention is different from place to place. So sometimes they call them, for example, a virtual CISO, virtual CFO, and sometimes they call them fractional. So fractional because the guy is saying, hey, like you don't need to hire a full-time accountant, for example, but you can have someone who takes care of your books. And by the way, you need to take care of your books, especially now with the new
Yeah.
corporate tax laws and so on. Or someone who takes care of your technology stack. Or you need maybe someone to take care of your um, hiring. Maybe you need someone to take care of if you get the chance of having an employee with you and you need to have the pay salaries. So there are also like functions, or let's say companies that does this as well. So this is where you need to try to do more with less, as they say. So uh, and it's a very important one. Now, Ufuk, like the question that I get asked, and I'm sure like you get asked also as well all the time, hey, like, okay, you start this business, and but how you can build and strength a brand in a such competitive market, especially like Dubai, and especially in the field that you and me we do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm literally working on that still. I mean,
Work in
Data
progress.
Fabrika, exactly. So first of all, using the social media, trying to reach people that I don't know personally. It is very useful. It is helping. And also joining these kind of like networking events, right? Business, talking with other business owners. This is the most important thing for me, because while bootstrapping a business, I mean, for example, DataFabrika, right? So I started as a consulting business in cybersecurity space, but still, there are things going on, and I continue learning new things, and how it's coming from other business owners. And it's happening just because I'm communicating with them. I'm understanding what they do, and what are their recommendations. Just a couple of days ago, I met with another business owner, uh, a great lady. She's managing an event. She has an event management company, and I have no idea about events management. I don't know anything about that business, but just having a coffee with her, I learned very interesting information, and it was just. Uh, I mean, I was just thinking, okay, so if she's doing this, maybe I can also do that for my business. So simply, when you meet new people, it is helping you to shape the standing and positioning of your brand. This is the
Yeah,
best way, I would say. What do you
yeah,
think,
yeah.
Mehmet?
That, yeah, that's of course like. here is the thing. Like, I will not repeat what you said. I will agree with it because I'm doing it also as well. But for me, what also I decide to do, like, sometimes when you go to a crowded market, um, and nowadays there's nothing, not crowded. Everywhere is crowded. Like whether it's in technology, whether it's in e-commerce, like it's a crowded market. Why? Because everyone's trying to do more with less. So remember, always people are trying to do more with less. So the thing here, you need to differentiate yourselves in two ways. So the first thing, you have to really be good at one or two things better than anyone else, and you need to convey this messaging around so people would know that you are the guy to go, right, when it comes to certain service. So this is number one. The second one, and maybe we will touch base at the end about it. Look, like, you cannot do everything alone, and
Yeah.
accept it or not, right, whether you are a new business or a established business, for sometimes you need collaboration. And this is, the philosophy that Ufuk and myself, from day one, we discovered, like, look, okay, because it's a crowded market, we are not seeing this crowded market as a competition. We see this
Yeah.
crowded market actually as an opportunity for us, because we know how we can set up relationships, how we can set up, I would say, partnerships, right, with everyone. And they don't have to be in our same sector, like same as Ufuk just explained. It can be, someone from events. Sometimes, I'm interacting with people who are in I don't know, like accounting, someone in completely different space. But the beauty is when you have this ecosystem, so now the ecosystem starts also to help you and promote your service. So this is exactly what have we've been doing. Now, before we jump to a little bit the technical aspects of the business, bootstrapping, Ufuk, last point, because you and me also, we had a
Yeah.
lot of thoughts about it, is best practices, because now everyone, you need to have an accounting system in place, right?
Hmm.
So from our knowledge, we are not accountants, guys, T's and C's applies. uh, but we are technical people, right? So what are the best practices for setting up an accounting system for businesses in Dubai?
Well, for me, I was looking at SaaS platforms. I don't know. Should we mention any vendors? So you tell me.
No.
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 So yeah. So I used a couple of I did a test actually in the beginning. I wanted to give it a try to vendor one and then vendor two, because there was no too many transactions, and I had bandwidth to choose the right solution. And also, of course, it's not only for accounting, it's also managing. Okay, maybe a new company doesn't need a CRM, right? Or maybe or an ERP. Yeah, it's maybe an overkill. It might sound an overkill, but for me, it helped me to structure my progress, to have some small, like, I don't know, an open source ERP system. And because in the end, every business should grow, right? And I hope mine and yours business will grow too. And when we reach that days, if I have a right foundation starting from day one, I think it will be easier to integrate to something new. So that's why for me it was very important to choose something cost effective, something a system that I could manage. And yeah, from accounting point of view as well. So better to it's recommended to keep records and your accounting documents in a good shape, in a good order, because, well, again, in UAE, we started hearing many things about tax, and corporate tax and VAT. So that's why it's very important. And one thing I heard from my accountant friend, he told me that every company in UAE, they have to keep up to 7 years, probably all financial records should be
Yeah.
stored up to 7 years. So yeah, this is something important, right? So every company should store their data, financial information, for 7 years, and how to keep it secure, and how to keep it again cost effective. or keep it on the cloud or on prem. So these are very important topics as well. So that's why, like you mentioned, this virtual CISO type of service or fractional CISO type of service, so can give small businesses advices when it comes to taking business actions in parallel with technical requirements. So this is I would recommend.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, like just on the point why you need to keep the records. This is because, I know, like, if you are someone who's thinking of starting a business, or maybe you already started a couple of months back, you need to understand that when a tax law comes to a country, so you need to keep records just for the sake of auditing. And this is why, the point that Ufuk mentioned, this is why you need to keep track of your transactions, and you need to keep the books. So when I say keep the books, in simple terms, and again, I'm not an accountant, but I have experience now, I can say, like, you need to track your incomes, your expenses, right, and such thing. And good enough that we are lucky, the government here in the UAE, they are flexible. So if you are like under certain threshold, like, you don't need to go and go implement a very complex system. You can still use kind of an Excel sheet, but of course we prefer something in the cloud that you can do it. And will bring me to the technical aspects of Ufuk. How does one choose the right domain name for a business? Because, okay, you get the idea, and of course you need to get the name and the domain name. So
Yeah, I think it's
um,
very important.
can you little bit tell us about that
Yeah.
aspect?
Well, it's clear, right? I mean, it's became a de facto standard. .com, right? I mean, everyone wants to get a .com, and it's very hard to find a unique company name with .com domain address. So, uh, I mean, in my domain register, when I look at the history, I mean, I don't know, I had maybe 50 different domain names registered in the last 10, 15 years, maybe even more. Well, because, sometimes you have the idea, maybe without any action, but you just want to take something that will drive you, right? And if you see that, .com domain is available for X idea, and if it is there, and if you have chance, I recommend that it's go and register it, because this is what I did. I registered my domain name, I think, back in 2020, 26 probably,
Mm-hmm.
2016. So that's why domain name and using a domain name is very sorry is important, and especially when you're choosing the domain name, just make sure that it's easy to spell and easy to write. So I
Right.
mean, hard words, hard to mixing words. It will make it even harder. And for me, there is also additional thing is my name, which is another challenging thing. That's why I use only my surname. So that's why when people are looking to send me an email, I want them to remember it easily. Ferik at datafabrika.com. That's it. So that's why I want to make it easy and accessible and rememberable as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm your opposite, because my first name is easier than my last name for the
Yeah.
majority of people. So this is, yeah, why I choose, like Mehmet at yassiventures.com. But yeah, like guys.com is, it's like the, as Ufuk mentioned, is the de facto, it have the authority. A small hint from my side, and especially if you are planning to be in something like e-commerce, or if you want to be in something like fintech, or anything that really it will be a little bit localized for the local market here, is to go with a .ae, because which is the national, I would say, TLD, top level domain for the United Arab Emirates. So .ae will add that as well. Now if you're planning to be, say, hey, like, I'm gonna going to be a company that can do transactions with anywhere in the world, so yeah, .com. But if you want to add that like the local aspects, you can add the .ae, or there are plenty of places. If you search Google, probably you will find where you can register. And I know like the big telcos here also can help you in that as well. Now moving, like we set up the domain name. Next is we need also the email, right, Ufuk?
Yeah.
So uh, which one and why, if you can just without mentioning names.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, yes, email. Okay, we register the domain, right? .com, .ae, .io, .me, whatever it is. We register the domain name, right? And of course, we have to be sure that it's registered on a trusted registrar. So, because it's very important to keep that domain safe, right? And second, yes, it's time to look for an email system. And you might think, okay, well, we can just get cheap web hosting, $5 per year. I don't know if we can find hundreds of things in the internet today if you look at it. But yeah, is it secure? Is it really providing you enough security? And is it really integrating with your domain names, with your domain records? So that's why I would recommend to take a look at industry leading public cloud providers and their systems. I think, yeah, it's not a vendor name, but we can mention the product name because it's very important here. So my recommendation is to go with Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace. So these are two. Well, I already mentioned the vendor name as well, right?
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
yeah, yeah, it's a good name, product naming. So that's why these solutions are very cost effective, and it's also helping you to have a set of applications that you can use for your business. And if you leverage those applications, so simply for my day-to-day operations, I'm using SharePoint, right, to communicate maybe with, or maybe track something, and or I'm using forms. Again, these are all integrated into my Microsoft 365 licensing. That's why email system is very important, and I would say it's very and it's not easy. Sorry, it's not hard. It's not expensive to choose those type of services, because in the end you are getting a very good return out of those expenses.
Yeah, and I will answer maybe a question that didn't come, but
Yeah.
some people they say, "Hey, but my the place where I bought my hosting and domain name, they provide an email system." My answer is like, guys, like Microsoft are the and Google are the best in this, and actually because what you get there is not just the email. So as Ufuk mentioned, so I use the uh, Google Workspace, and it's the same, like just the names will differ. So you get the email system, you will get the shared drive, whether it's OneDrive or Google Drive. You will get the communication, so Teams versus Google Meet. You will get you can build forms, you can do a lot of things more than just communication. So you get a full suite actually of really quality products. And the good news is now both companies, they are integrating AI also as well in that. So that will of course, value for money, as they say. It's right on the spot. Now, we mentioned a little bit of web hosting maintenance, of hook. So what
Yeah.
are the factors should be considered when deciding on the website hosting, maintenance,
Mhm.
and security from business perspective?
Yeah. Well, I think regarding hosting and also email domains and all these technical aspects of running a business, I think I find myself quite lucky because of the technique, because of having a technical background, same like yourself. Uh, well, I mean, whatever I do, I mean, in my business, I try to eliminate the middleman as much as possible. I want to be close to the vendor or the provider as close as possible. So yeah, you can work with a hosting company. You can ask a friend. A friend can, or maybe a friend that is handling this type of things, right? Okay, maybe he can create his account and then buy web hosting for you, and then giving you access. But as a business owner, still you have someone in between, and it might be a problem when there is an issue with your hosting, right? So you have to know how to take action. So that's why Of course, maybe you are planning to call your friend, but maybe your friend is not available, right? So who will provide you? So your website is down, or maybe you are running an e-commerce site and it's down, and now because of your hosting provider, and simply it's down, and you have no, you don't have any access, right? So that's why my recommendation is to choose a trusted hosting provider, and at least, even if you are if you, even if you are not sure who is best, try to get a consultation from someone, or try to work with a managed services partner, so that they can handle everything for you, and when there's an issue they can just take care with that. And also with whoever is your contact in this, I recommend to ask them a backup plan or a recovery plan, right?
Yeah.
So what will happen in case my website is down? Just ask them these questions, and ask them what will happen after 1 year, what will happen after 2 years, because simply there's no company giving you a service forever, right? Every business has terms and contract at deadline. So that's why it's very important to discuss these details, and of course, depending on your region, you have to choose your hosting wisely, right? I mean, if you are located in, I don't know, in Germany, but you are choosing your hosting because it was cheap, it's back in the, I don't know, somewhere in Australia, so simply you are adding additional latency, right? So if your users are in Germany, your hosting, your services, your website, everything should be closer as much as possible. So that's why it's really it's another important point to choose the location for your hosting, and this and second one is about privacy regulations. So maybe you have to keep data in a certain country, right? And by default, if you are choosing a hosting in another country, so simply your users, everything happening on your website, it's happening on another country. So that's why to be compliant when it comes to data privacy regulations, hosting location is also another important aspect.
Yeah, just I want to add, or let me share a quick story with the audience. Back in 2017, I met someone who I think they were in a mix between real estate slash something related to e-commerce. And what happened at that time, exactly what you maybe you mentioned like by a coincidence, Ufuk, but what happened is that someone bought the domain, a friend, I don't know, and he bought the domain, hosting, and email system. And this guy passed away, right? Now, of course, someone can say, hey, I can buy another domain. But remember, once you establish your brand, once you establish, everyone knows like this is your website. Everyone knows like these are your social media handles. Everyone knows like this is your email. It will be hard later on. At least, you will be wasting time until you get this new branding done again. This is why, even if you are saying, but I am one man or we are two guys in the business, like we don't really need, believe me, like it's not about the money, and it will not cost you actually a lot of money if you get this to someone who can manage that for you. Because remember, in bootstrapping a business, and this is why we called this session bootstrapping a consultancy business, and it can be applied to anyone who's starting a business. The more thing you can delegate for a little bit of value, believe me, your mind will be more, I would say, in a relaxed mode, because you know what, like you say, hey, I don't need to worry if my friend who knows my domain details or my hosting details, something happened to him or her, because I know that there's someone I can rely on in case something happened. If your site get hacked, for example, like again, you need someone you can rely on. And this is, we're not trying to promote anything, guys, but we are trying to tell you that when you do a bootstrapping for your business, especially if you are in consultancy, you need to depend on other consultants as well. And as we were mentioning before, like this is where collaboration comes into the picture. Now, moving forward, Ufuk, Everyone, when they hear this term, they got scared. CRM, ERP.
Yeah,
Yeah. But why are these two important? And
yeah.
and it's applicable for any business.
Well, yes, it's very important, and it's applicable to any type of business, right? Even when I just started, yes, only me, right? Of course, one man dealing with an ERP solution. Yeah, it sounds funny, but again, my vision was future, right? I was thinking about, okay, this business will grow. This is the nature of a business. It should either grow or not. So of course, my intention is to grow the business, and that's why working or utilizing an ERP might give you, at least a system when you are conducting your day-to-day business, even if you're alone, even if you don't need a lot of people to join, and if you don't have anyone to message, or if you don't have anyone to approve your expense reports, that's fine. Still keep your ERP in a good shape, because in the end, so I believe we will discuss this a bit later on. Uh, but if a business has a system, a built-in system, starting from day one, I believe this is just another added value. And in case you are trying to pitch your business to an investor, right, when they want to see, okay, what have you done until now? Or what are the system, what is the process of your business, and how you how you deal with your clients, and how do you track your leads, marketing, and what are the numbers? Yes, of course, as you mentioned previously, a spreadsheet might solve the solution, right? But again, manual work should be avoided. This is what I recommend. So that's why, if you are using an ERP in a good way, simply you can just integrate and get your website traffic into your ERP, and maybe a newsletter, a marketing campaign that you're running. Maybe you will just generate leads automatically. So that's why using an ERP might give you advantage of using an automation when it comes to different operations in your business.
Yeah. So just from my point of view, I would tell you guys, and this is based on years of experience. So the more you are organized, the better you are, right? And when I say organized, if you can, and again, you might see me repeating the same term again and again, doing more with less. So nowadays, we are lucky enough to have a lot of systems out there that they can do different things at the same time. So like the customer relationship management system, CRM. Basically, it's the way you can track what you are, who are the customers or prospects, let's say, you are trying to deal with. So which stage you are into the discussion? Is it like early stage, or did you send a proposal? I'm just simplifying things now. But at the same time, you can do a lot of other workflows over there. And this, it simplifies the life, because instead of having, let's say, an Excel sheet to track your customers, having another Excel sheet to see, okay, who are the people who we collected emails from, and then we can put them into a newsletter, and then we have another Word document that tracks, the project that we are working on, and I can continue till the
Yeah.
morning. So the idea is of CRM/ERP is you have everything into one place, and it's secured, it's in front of you, you can search it globally. And the beauty of it, as Ufuk mentioned, and we both share this vision of, okay, maybe today, we just started, but we see ourselves on the long run in some other place. And we need these systems also to be enabled with other factors as well. So for example, you need to have maybe an HR system, maybe you need to have a onboarding system for the newcomers, you need to have accounting, and what that we mentioned. So majority of the time today, you see like all these vendors that they have started as CRM, you see that they have now an umbrella of different products that you can customize, you can enable the modules as you would need. And then the importance is to get organized and not to lose track of what's happening. So the benefit of using a CRM system is actually saving time, increasing the networking with the customer. So basically, you now, at any stage when you send him or her an email, you know exactly at what stage you are in. Okay, I sent the proposal, I need to send a follow up. And I think I'm gonna do another maybe master class just about the communication using email and
Yeah.
social media. But we will not finish today. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, now let's like shift a little bit. Oh no, there's one more technical question for you,
Yeah.
Ufuk. Now you mentioned, but maybe you can repeat on a high level
Yeah.
how we can ensure at least a minimum minimum information security hygiene, especially
Mm-hmm.
when we are just starting. And before you answer me, Ufuk, I just
Mm-hmm.
shared today on the company
Mm-hmm.
profile, we shared about a factory that get closed for 1 week. Now guys, a factory, they have insurance policies, they will get their money back. But if someone is like Ufuk,
Yeah.
myself, and you today, you are thinking to start a business, you are still maybe one man show, or maybe you are a small team. Maybe you are not thinking about security, but believe me, it has a long impact. Especially if you are a startup, especially if you are a startup. So, Ufuk, can you share some tips of ensuring
Yeah.
information security in the context of doing
Yeah.
business on this scale? Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Very good question. And I would say it's let's call it baseline, right? Just to keep
Mm-hmm.
it clear. Well, first of all, email security, right? This which email you are using and who has access, who is your administrator. So this is important. So even if you think, oh, okay, I have nothing important in my emails. I had such a contract. He's running his own business, but he doesn't care. Uh, he doesn't care about email security, right? So he doesn't know who has access to their web hosting, and then from web hosting to their emails. So it is important. It is important, and it should be protected. So this information, this email, any communication goes through your emails are private. So that's why even if you are just one user, make sure that you are working with the right vendor and right person or a company who is managing that service on behalf of you. And second, make sure that you are using MFA. MFA is like I think it is important, like water and food today. I mean, if without MFA, I even don't want to leave my house. I want to have that security, and
Yeah.
using a secure MFA system, it will give you another layer of security, right? So even you might think, I mean, a new maybe non-technical person might think, okay, this any company who has the administrator still they can access my emails. No, because still as an individual, as a company, as a mail user, you are in charge of your username and password, and you can reset it, and plus it is integrated with your MFA. So simply it is something that in the cybersecurity, this is something something you have, which is your mobile device to receive your MFA notification, and maybe something you are, which is your biometrics, right? And when you combine all of these simple uh, actions, your business can at least secure from email communication point of view. And same goes for hosting, and another thing, of course, endpoint security, right? So maybe you're using a Mac, or maybe a Windows, or probably it's a Windows, or maybe a Mac. But make sure, especially if it is Windows, make sure that you have at least a paid and well-known antivirus, and make sure that it is updated. And there are many providers, they are doing this for years. But if you think that it's these free ones, are they good? I wouldn't say. If it is something free, that means they're doing something else on your computer. So that's why make sure to dedicate a small amount of money, get a proper license, and get a proper antivirus, and this will make things at least secure from antivirus point of view.
Great. And guys, think about as in an insurance policy, right? So this is something for your own benefit, for your business benefit, especially if you are a startup. Maybe you have a lot and you are developing maybe your own code, whether in-house or through, some other providers or third-party providers. But you're gonna own the code, you're gonna own the intellectual property, and you don't want someone to wipe out what you have built. You don't want someone to steal what you have already done, right? So this is why the security is very important here. um, this is why people ask me, okay, you introduce your company as a startup studio and you provide these services, why you speak too much about security? Because I think it's crucial for that. Now let's shift gears a little bit,
Sure.
Ufuk, with you. Both of us, we talk about having a vendor agnostic approach, and maybe people saw me a little bit saying, no, 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 I don't want to mention, but can you
Yeah.
explain the benefits of
Yeah.
being vendor agnostic?
Yeah. Well, actually, we came up with this idea, right, with you, Mehmet, to be vendor agnostic on whatever we are doing. Well, it's one of the main reasons we are both coming from vendor environments. We had both we worked at different companies in data protection and cybersecurity industries. So when it comes to choosing a right solution for your business, it is really, I mean, you can find, there are too many solutions out there, right? You can find solution A, solution B. In the end, it is doing the expectation one, right? It's the same, maybe a little bit different way. Maybe, in the end, just as a very simple, very basic example, you want to have 5 apples, right? And in solution one is giving you as 2 apples and then 3 apples, but solution B is giving you 1 and then 4 later. In the end, you are having those apples, right? You are getting what you want, just in a very very small, very different, very small different way. And that's why when you are talking with subject matter experts, and if that SMEs, subject matter experts, are just telling you, okay, look for this solution is the best. Well, maybe he is right, maybe he or she is right, okay, but ask for reasons, because there is no one single solution is which is perfect. There is no perfect solution. As a someone with technical background, I can say there are alternatives, there are solutions. You just need to understand what is your need, and which solution is addressing your requirements.
Mhm.
And so that's why evaluation is very important, and that's why when we are talking with our clients, we are saying first, okay, we are vendor agnostic. First, let's understand your business. Let's understand how we can be useful, right? And then once we clarify the expectation, and then we can just discuss and look for the vendors. So that's why it's important to take another look at this vendor agnostic term.
Yeah, I just want to add very shortly here. So the reason why we decided to go on the vendor agnostic, in addition to the reasons that Ufuk just mentioned, is actually not in consultancy only. Like, you need to do this in whatever business you are in, because at the end of the day you are offering a service, and whether you are selling that as a physical product or you are offering as a real service, like you're doing something. So customer satisfaction, customer, I would say, experience is something, personally, and Ufuk also as well, we really, we put it as a high priority. Actually, it's at the top of the high priority. And if even if I know, that a certain product, a vendor, they have a solution that fit that customer, I want the customer to get convinced first before I convince, because I'm a believer, right? If you have something very good, if you have something very excellent, people will know about it. Go ahead.
Mehmet, sorry, I think there is a problem with the microphone. I see some. Let's
Really?
try now.
Really?
Yeah,
Can you hear
it's.
me?
I can hear, but there's a noise in the background.
Oh, hold on. Maybe because of this. Is it any better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Ah, okay. Sorry for that. So what I was saying that if you have a product, it should be really solving the problems that Ufuk mentioned, and the way you need to do it is it needs to do one of the following things. It either reduce time compared to how they are doing it today. The product needs to be able, one of it doesn't have to fit all, so it's either reducing the time to do certain job, it either help in increasing revenue, it might be helping in increasing the number of customers for you, it might be avoiding losing customers for you, or it might be avoiding a risk, right? So it should be doing one of these things usually. And the way we look at it is that the customer and us, we need to be, I don't believe I should be spending too much time in convincing on, okay, you know what? This screen here on the corner, it has a yellow. I believe it has to be green. I should not be spending time on this. And usually, like when you don't go with a vendor agnostic approach, this is what you will be trying to do it. Like as they say, you try to do the, in the square hole, right? So you try to put the ball in the square hole. Like it doesn't work this way. So you need to actually understand the customer needs and then based on that build something. And yeah, like of course, if I know like solution A from vendor A is the fit, okay, let's call vendor A and tell them your solution will be a fit there. If not, we'll go to another one. So this is the way we decide to do it. And the feedback I received and Ufuk received as well was perfect and excellent because guys, let us not lie to each others. No one want to hear a marketing pitch anymore because everyone would come to the customer and say, "Hey," and I don't do this. Ufuk doesn't do this as well. We don't go and say, "Hey, we have the best consulting ever." And anyone can say, "So what?" If you have the best consulting ever, so what? How you solve my problem, how you are allowing me to get more money from my business, save time in my business. This is what the customers want to hear. And I'm giving this advice for free, guys. If you want to understand more about this, reach out to me. I have set up something special for this myself and Ufuk. If you want to understand more about how to do consulting, especially in the technology space, and how to be a good consultant, reach out to us. We have a coaching program for this. So we will announce that also very soon. As we are, going on, and I told you 40, 45 minutes, but the discussion is good, so
Yeah.
we're gonna stay 10 more minutes. Ufuk, just maybe we touched base on this, but what was the effect of networking strategies for the business and how it will help fellow, uh, you know, business owners or people who are thinking to start and bootstrap their business?
Yeah. Well, it's another important topic, right? It's networking. So for me, it was about, well, joining, searching in business events, joining or trade shows, joining events, talking with the people, and this simply helped me to change the mindset, right? Because you have to be out there, you have to be on the field, and then you have to explain your business, right? And also you have to listen other people's business, because it's, again, I mean, if it is a networking event, it's a business networking event. Yes, there are people there to do something on behalf of their own business, right? And yeah, it will work sometimes, but I recommend to be a little bit more selective, because sometimes you might see yourself in a networking environment where no one where everyone is trying to sell something on the spot. So this is something that I experienced. So, and as a, when you start your own business, you will start getting a lot of messages, from another business owners, right? Maybe lead generation, maybe marketing, maybe web development. So all type of, requests will come to you, maybe 10 per day. So that's why you have to be patient and because yeah, it will be there. And if you try to answer everything, yes, you it will take a lot of time. But
Yeah,
yeah, just networking is important, but you have to do it wisely and do be a little bit selective.
100%. Now, the $1 million question, why we decide to do a joint venture?
Yes. Why? Well, because well, first of all, yeah, we know each other, right? We are running, I mean, different businesses, right? But in the end, like Mehmet mentioned in the beginning, it's a competitive environment, and there are many companies out there, and simply to have daily, brainstorming sessions with someone who is on the same frequency is something extremely valuable. And simply an idea might sound just perfect. You might think that you have the light bulb moment, but yeah, after maybe discussing and after talking with your business partner, well, you might think that okay, you're right. So it's not that great idea, right? So that's why I mean our venture, our collaboration is helping both of us to grow more. That's why it is really important.
Yeah, so just I want to add something.
Yes.
I'm a big believer that um I'm not sure if the proverb will be translated right, but we have it both in Arabic and in Turkish. So they say like one hand cannot clap alone, right? So you need
Yeah.
two hands to clap. So the idea is like, when you have someone with you, actually the benefit for both of us was the following. First, two brains better than one. So if something comes to Ufuk, he sometimes comes to me, sometimes something comes to me, and then I go to Ufuk because maybe I'm in the middle of the day and I got maybe an email or someone asked for something, and I need someone to have a second look at it. And I'm my character is always, even if I'm 100% sure of something, I like to consult with people around me, people who I trust. So, and of course, Ufuk and I we know each other for a long time. So this was like really really good. The second thing, so sometimes this is what we are doing. So sometimes um uh, Ufuk is acting as the mentor to me, and like you know I come to him with an idea, and then he start to question, not because he want to question, because this is how we agreed to do it.
Yeah.
So okay, why you want to do it? What do you think you will get out of it? So this allows me personally to have a second thought
Yeah.
about it. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about it this way. Oh, I thought like it's the perfect idea for me, but it's not always the case. Like it's good to hear, a feedback. And the same thing we do it vice versa as well. And guess what? Like because we've done this now for quite some times, so actually we become like the duo to go
Yeah.
when something comes out. So you say, okay, so they know that Ufuk and Mehmet, they are, yeah, of course, each one has his own entity, let's say, but we act as one. So um and this is something now, of course, like Ufuk, like he focuses with DataFabrika on the cybersecurity part, managed services, the technology aspects, finding the solution. From my perspective, I focus more on the startup parts and the ecosystem around the startups, and dividing this between us actually help both of us to have times for certain things. So we divided the time in a much, I would say, smart way, and it allowed us also to have a better management for the time, better management with customers, and we go together now to customers if we have anything over there. So yeah, this was the main aspect of having a joint venture. And actually what we are doing, and Ufuk, maybe you can tell us, like you have your famous memorandum of understanding, right?
Yeah. Yeah, memorandum of understanding. It's very important. So, well, in the business, yes, you will need to talk with other business owners, right? And maybe you don't know that person, and of course, in the business, of course, they say it's not personal, right? It's business. So we are creating a very simple, like understanding of each other business, what we are doing and how will we act when it comes to business and sharing projects, or just like a gentleman's agreement on the paper, and not on the project basis, but just to underline and put things in a certain frame that okay, uh, as DataFabrika and Yassi Ventures, yes, we are working on that. We are working together, but we both know that in the beginning we signed something. So there is a clear agreement that is making each other responsible to each other. So that's why this was my approach, and it helped me a lot because well, it is helping to show yourself acting as a professional.
Yeah, so one more thing about why we start to do this, because when you start, you receive a lot of messages, you receive a lot of invitations here and there, and even sometimes when we go to networking events and everyone is trying to say, hey, let's collaborate, let's do something, and they expect just the memorandum of understanding. The reason, and Ufuk came out with this idea, the reason why I liked it, because when you set the expectation up front, like, you save time. And guys, the time is money. Really, the time is money. Like, um Ufuk doesn't want to waste 2 hours meeting because he would drive somewhere half an hour, sit 1 hour there, and drive back 30 minutes. And same for me, just to go and figure out that, hey, like, you know what? We have this product, and we think we can collaborate. So if you can sell it to us, or they will be trying to sell something to us. So no offense, I can understand everyone want to do business. Memorandum of understanding is like your filter for having all these inbounds to you, so people who are trying to get you there. So, well, Ufuk,
Yeah.
we managed to do it. Like, it's like now 1 hour 2 minutes. I thought that we're
Wow.
gonna finish, but
Good.
I really enjoyed the discussion. Any final thoughts you want to say?
Well, thank you very much. It was a lovely conversation, Mehmet. I hope our listeners enjoyed. And thanks for having me. I believe we will have another episodes focusing
We will
on
have more. We
another
will have more.
another another topic. So
Sure.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you all, and I hope you have a good weekend. By the way, this will be recorded. It will go on the CTO Show YouTube channel. It will be available in LinkedIn as well. So, and it will be a special episode also in the podcast. Thank you very much, and see you again. Bye bye.